Welcome to the Dead Bedroom Revival Podcast. My name is Kuri, your host, and today I'm really excited to be making this episode because we'll be talking about how does a sexless relationship affect men. And I think this is the most it's like the most biggest hidden secret when it comes to sex. I think most people know that men desire sex from their partners, but what effect it has is a massive secret. And a lot of people talk about men's mental health, and there is a massive association with the lack of sex and depression. And this is not just from science and what people say, but this is what I also personally felt, that the longer I spent without that intimate sort of touch from my wife, I would go through this cycle where I felt unwanted, I felt unattractive, felt like I was not worth anything. And really, it put me into a spin where I was sort of blaming myself and blaming her, blaming the world, just really thinking, how is it so unfair that I'm in this relationship with a woman that I love? She loves me as much as I love her, but I still feel massively lonely. So, and this is one of those things that is not spoken. And really, when you speak in those terms, most people will say, "Man up," or "Why are you sounding so weak?" And it's one of the reasons why really men do not talk about it, and they suffer in silence. And sometimes they mask the pain, and this is how addictions ever end up happening. So either people start really binging or really knuckle down into the video games, and then they really get obsessed with the video games, or they'll go into Netflix and series, and really it's just more and more stuff to numb the pain. And it's sort of, we do things that sort of temporarily gives you an escape, but long term keeps you really trapped within this sexless relationship. And one of those things is not just the games, but the worst one out of them all is porn and masturbation. And you can really go down that rabbit hole, because all of it is when you type in whatever porn you like, there's more and more videos being created all the time, and it gives you this sort of rabbit hole that you can go into, and then all of a sudden you're just stuck in that. And instead of really stopping and then working on a relationship, you just go into this process of really trying to just numb yourself and just go through life with things going the way they are. And this is how it affects men, and it affects men differently. I'm sort of speaking from my own personal experience, and from what I've heard from other people. Some people have actually gone to the other side, where they actually ended up on medication for depressions, and they actually, because of that sort of issues that they were having, it also affected the outside life, which means that it's affecting their work. Got them into all sorts of trouble. And the other bit is also most people, in fact, a large majority of people that are cheaters or who have cheated on their partners, they have done it because of this scenario. So they feel like, I love my partner, but because I love my partner and I don't want to leave them, I might have something on the side and not tell them and try and keep it as a secret. And it's one of the reasons why men in marriages that end up cheating, because they just desire to be desired, and this is the most difficult experience to go through. And I'm saying it that way, and I'm really trying to just give you my side of where I've come from. And I know it's probably different for you, and it might be different experiencing, but the ultimate thing that is, to sum it up, is that it's you feel like a sense of emptiness, a sense of loneliness. And sometimes you can even talk about it with your friends as well. So you can't really go and say, by the way, my partner we don't get intimate with my partner and it's affecting me in this way. So, and again, this is why men suffer in silence with some of these things, because it makes you maybe feel like less of a man to talk about it. And, there's no safe spaces to talk about it. And now, in fact, there are safe spaces. So when people go to Reddit or Facebook groups, but at the same time, this is one of those things, and how it affects men is something that is so understated, but there is a way out. And some of the ways out are not the ones that have been written online, because I spent years reading different ideas and trying different ideas, and I just kept going around in circles. And we started discovering that some of the things that are being put out there are really counterintuitive to what is required for a relationship. So people would say, go and speak to your partner about it. But really, when you go and speak to your partner, it just made it 10 times worse, because you're bringing this negative thing and they don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to deal with it. And then you're just going, nothing happens. So talking about it isn't an option, because you're not skilled in negotiation, especially once you've dropped this thing on them and it's really negative. They're feeling bad that they've caused you so much pain. What do you want them to do with it? So it's the advice that's already out there is quite destructive, and the thing that we found that is the thing that works the most is that you have to start working on yourself. So you move from this sense of I'm the victim and she's hurting me, and she's doing this to hurt me, or she's just low libido and this is me being unattractive. Whatever your story you've been telling yourself, you stop, and then you start finding things that make you happy. And that could be joining a class, joining a cycling club, joining a triathlon club, doing a Spartan race. There's certain things that you can do, and all of these are difficult things. And the reason why I do this, in fact, I was asked recently, why do you constantly tell people to go and do this? And when I started doing it, I started doing Muay Thai. And what made it exciting and amazing was the fact that every time I would go there, I was in a chasm, and meaning that I just didn't know what I was doing. And the more I learned, the more confidence I got. And sometimes I would hit a limit where I didn't know, and I was really out of my comfort zone, and I was doing something that I was not very good at, and I would feel self-conscious. And whenever I had a breakthrough, it just showed me that I could do so much more, which gave me so much confidence in myself, and then which made me feel happy. And the more I had kept doing that, finding a limit and then making a breakthrough through that limit, it just kept making me feel even more confident and even more happier, which in turn became infectious to my wife and to my children. And then in turn, it started creating an environment of being playful, and then once we're playful, then there was more seduction, and then the frequency came. So this is one of those things that when it comes to how it affects men, most men, they sort of like a turtle, just go into the shell, and then they never come out. And sometimes they just find these 2 or 3 things that they used to cope. So whether it's watching a lot of Netflix and binging a lot of food to really just change your mood, and you're just doing all these things that are quite destructive and that give you this temporary pleasure but just keep you locked in for a long period. And if you want to learn some of the things that you can do in order to really turn this around and go into depth in terms of the skills and the different techniques that we've actually used that actually work, go to www.deadbedroomrevival.com. You will get a free guide, 4 ways to seduce her, and also get a link to a Facebook group where we'll be doing some more coaching, where we'll go in depth and show you different techniques, different things that you can do and that will change your behavior, not just change your behavior, but make you irresistible to your partner. And this is what's going to be absolutely amazing when within a few weeks you'll be actually seeing a difference. So I'm really excited to see you guys when we join the Facebook group, and I'm looking forward to showing you all these techniques so you can change everything. So thank you very much. Take care.